हेलो एंड वेलकम टू आवर पॉडकास्ट। आज मेरे साथ हैं मेरे भाई, माय कजिन ब्रदर अजय शंकर अय्यर, एंड दैट्स द फुल नेम। एंड ही इज करेंटली इन द यूएसए। कितने साल से हो आप यूएसए में?
Uh, about 18 years.
18 years, यानी 2006, वुड दैट बी राइट?
2006 दिसंबर में मूव हुआ था।
2006 दिसंबर में मूव हुआ था। ये डेट्स थोड़े इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि मैं जो आगे बोलने वाला हूँ उससे देयर इज गोइंग टू बी सम रिलेशन। 2004 में या 3 में शायद आपको ग्रीन कार्ड मिला, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, राइट?
फोन या
2004 में इनको ग्रीन कार्ड मिला एंड इनका तय हो गया था कि ये जाने वाले हैं यूएस। एंड एज यू नो, 18 साल से हैं वहाँ पे, एक बहुत बड़े पोजीशन में है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में काम करते हैं। तो ऑब्वियसली इज डन रियली वेल फॉर हिमसेल्फ, सो टचवुड ऑन दैट। बट 2004 में एक ऐसा इंसिडेंट हुआ जिसके बाद आपने ऑलमोस्ट तय कर लिया था कि आप यूएसए नहीं जाएंगे। कैन यू प्लीज रिवाइंड बैक टू दैट इंसिडेंट?
श्योर। सो या तो क्या हुआ था कि 2004 में आई हैड वॉच स्वदेश। सो जस्ट टू गिव यू सम कॉन्टेक्स्ट बिफोर दैट, शाहरुख खान, आई have mixed feelings about Shahrukh Khan, meaning some amazing movies, Dar and Bazigar and all those things. Lekin once he started getting into those typical Rahul type roles, एकदम तो मेरे को लगा कि यार ये सेम रोल कर रहा है बार बार, थोड़ा ओवर एक्टिंग इधर उधर हो जाता है। तो आई वाज लाइक ओके नाउ आई डोंट नो इफ आई एम सच अ बिग फैन ऑफ एसआरके। लेकिन क्या हुआ कि देन स्वदेश हैपेंड। तो स्वदेश तो एकदम कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट way of Shahrukh Khan's acting, right? Completely different from that whole style, and it was more of a topic, very serious topic, right? तो वो मूवी देखने के बाद एकदम इंस्पायर हो गया मैं कि दिस इज एन ऑसम अप्रोच कि एक बंदा जो यूएस में ऑलरेडी सेटल्ड है, ही इज अबाउट टू गेट सिटीजनशिप इन द मूवी। देन ही रियलाइजेस कि यार इतना मैं कर रहा हूँ नासा के लिए। आई मीन व्हाइल माय ओन कंट्री इज स्टिल so far behind the times, to the point where in one of the scenes when they realize that they don't even have electricity sometimes at night,
Yeah,
and that they have
right,
to
right,
borrow
right.
electricity from another nearby village. So then he starts thinking about, okay, yeah, I have this knowledge, let me use the knowledge and my resources to actually bring electricity to my village, which will drive more innovation. So that all stuff started getting me really excited कि यार here we have people coming back from US to India to help India, और मैं यहाँ पे इंडिया से जाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, right? So
Mm,
all those things got me kind of in a really heavy mind कि
mm.
maybe I should not go, and I should try to do what I can to help India out. So almost I told my, in fact I did tell my mom कि मुझे नहीं जाना अभी, जो भी ग्रीन कार्ड हो रहा है प्लीज कैंसिल इट बिकॉज आई वांट टू बी हियर करके। तो वो ऑलमोस्ट हुआ, लेकिन माय मॉम काइंड ऑफ tried to make me realize the big picture also.
Yes,
But
yes.
that's the connection that you are describing. Yes.
Absolutely. And I remember this very well. In fact, पॉडकास्ट शुरू होने से पहले मैंने आपसे ये क्वेश्चन पूछा था बिकॉज मैं कंफ्यूज था, ये आप थे, बिकॉज आई हैव अनदर अजय हु इज अ वेरी क्लोज फ्रेंड, ही आल्सो लव्स स्वदेश। यू नो, ही इज इन इंडिया राइट नाउ, वो भी कनाडा में सेटल्ड है। तो उनके साथ भी बहुत सिमिलर इंसिडेंट हुआ था। तो आई वाजंट श्योर इफ इट वाज यू और हिम, सो आई आस्क्ड यू एंड आई रिमेंबर्ड दिस इंसिडेंट, यू नो। वेल, यू नो, आप गए यूएस एंड टचवुड यू आर डूइंग वेरी वेल एंड आई होप यू कंटिन्यू टू डू ग्रेट। बट एक मूवी जो आपको इतना मूव कर दे कि आप, एंड बहुत सारे लोग उस टाइम पे वो डिसीजन लेके वापस आए एंड दे डिड देयर पार्ट, यू नो, टू इम्प्रूव इंडिया। सो दिस मूवी हैड अ ह्यूज इम्पैक्ट। भले बॉक्स ऑफिस फिगर्स ये वो सब ठीक है, बट व्हाट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज कि वो कितना टच करती है आपको और कितना चेंज करती है आपको। एंड वो चेंज अगर आपने महसूस किया तो दैट्स ग्रेट। ओके, सो वंडरफुल। दैट्स अ गुड स्टार्ट टू आवर पॉडकास्ट कि व्हाई एंड हाउ दिस मूवी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड यू। Any other memories of Swades in that period or anything over the years? आपने देखी है वापस movie anytime? Did you get a chance to watch it?
Lot of times, lot of
Lot of
times
times.
on and off, lot of times. Because if
Okay.
there's one movie of SRK that I can say, well, actually that's not true. If there are two movies of SRK that I can watch over and over again, one will definitely be Swades. It's one of my top movies in that list. The second is, of course, DDLJ. So between those
Yes.
two movies, those are the two movies I can watch over and over again and will not
Wow.
find it boring. बाकी सारे movies नहीं होगा. लेकिन स्वदेश for sure,
Okay.
and DDLJ, right? So uh, over the years it'll come in Netflix, it'll go away, it'll come on a different online service. So जब मौका मिलता है, I would definitely watch it. Yeah, and so if your question about other scenes, right, in that movie that I've loved, one for sure is the background you have right now on yours, right?
Yeah.
So वो तो एकदम heavy scene है, right? This is the guy
Right.
when you see in the pretext movie, he has his own water bottles that are highly filtered water, उसका खुद का shower, खुद का bed, खुद का pillow, everything is all his way of comfort that he's used to. But then suddenly he sees that this little kid is making, 25 paise
25%.
ka,
Yeah.
yeah, 25 paise ka glass. That's the dialogue that the
Yeah.
kid says. So for 25, paisa, he's selling water in a cup, and it's like he's seeing this is how bad India is right now, right? And so he wants to even
Mm.
at that moment try to help that little child, right? And that's why he says, okay, I want to take it, I want to drink. And he doesn't have money. He asks Melaram, right,
Wow. Yeah.
for the change, and he gets a coin. So he gives a rupee and says, keep the change. But
Mm.
खतरनाक scene है एकदम. Like they show how
Yeah.
he's starting to transform. You can see in the movie they're showing his mental state changing from that America
Right.
जाने का mindset to maybe there's a lot of help here that's needed, kind of thing. तो
Exactly.
वो एकदम खतरनाक scene था, for sure.
Yes. And on that scene, because we are talking about that scene, and that's the reason I kept it as a wallpaper. The reason I also wanted to talk about that scene, मुझे नहीं पता मेरे पास वो वीडियो है कि नहीं. तो मैं न्यूयॉर्क फिल्म एकेडमी में मैंने पढ़ाई करी थी. तो हमारी एक टीचर थी जो एक्टिंग भी सिखाती थी एंड फिल्म अप्रिसिएशन भी सिखाती थी, दोनों चीजें. तो उन्होंने हम सबको एक असाइनमेंट दिया था कि आपकी कंट्री से कोई भी मूवी का एक सीन आप उठाइए एंड यू सेंड इट टू मी. आप मुझे भेजिए. वी विल डिस्कस दैट सीन. We can discuss about many things. We can discuss about the production value, about the direction, or the acting. Being a Shahrukh fan, obviously, I thought, and I knew my audience. It's an American teacher, जो born and brought up in America है, उनकी जिस तरह की movies वो देखते हैं वो अलग है. तो I thought the best movie that I can bring or the best scene that I can bring is this one. तो मैंने उनको भेजा. So there were many people from different countries who sent their respective scenes कि ये देखो, ये देखो, ये देखो. Out of all the scenes, the only scene that she actually spoke about was this scene. And starting from that scene, जब वो बच्चा देता है, she was constantly observing Shahrukh Khan's character, Shahrukh Khan, as an actor, and she was saying कि he's almost frozen, वो ऐसा नहीं है कि उनका दिमाग kind of चलना बंद हो जाता है. वो लेते हैं कप एंड ऑटोमेटिकली ही डजंट थिंक ऐसा मेंटल कैलकुलेशन की नहीं इसमें वायरस होगा, इसमें बैक्टीरिया होगा, ये होगा, वो होगा. ही टेक्स द कप एंड जस्ट सिप्स इट. एंड उन्होंने बोला ही डजंट गेट टीयरी एंड ऑल, मतलब ही हैज those slight tears in his eyes and हल्का सा वो पूछते हैं, but it's not like he is crying or weeping. you know the sadness within him is able to connect with us. We are able to connect. तो बहुत सारे एक्टर्स ये सोचते हैं हम जितना रोएंगे उतना ज्यादा इफेक्टिव होगा सीन. His scene, he didn't have to really cry or tear up like anything. Just those mild tears. And she said the way he has performed, like you can feel that transformation. You don't even need to know the context behind the scene. तो आपको दिख जाता है कि ये बंदा है जो बाहर से आया है and he's having this water and how he's transformed from where he was to here. So I was very, very proud. I had the recording of hers. I have to search. If I get it, I'll be adding it to our video. But as a fan, I was super happy to see an American teacher talking so well about Shahrukh Khan. तो ये मेरा एक ये था. Yeah.
No,
Tell me.
you're spot on, because I'll say another thing of this, right? To your point about you don't have to have buckets of tears, right?
Right.
एक और बात इसमें ये भी है कि if you, at least my personal opinion of some of the other Shahrukh Khan movies is there's a little bit extra reaction to acting. वो थोड़ा overacting जैसा हो जाता है कि in certain things, at
Yeah.
least in my perception. I'm not, again,
Right.
I'm a lot of SRK fans will disagree with me, but in this one, there's an intentional restraint that he is showing, right? That
Yeah, right.
you have to convey more with eyes than with those visual tear type stuff, right? So
Exactly.
वो definitely no. Another segue I think also is in my opinion, the scene का जो weight जो बढ़ता है, it's also because of the background score in that scene.
Absolutely. Yeah. People
I
will be
mean,
coming to that.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know you're a A.R. Rahman fan, so I'm going to move to that topic. But yes, it's absolutely right. Background
It all
score.
comes together. It's basically the point I was
Exactly.
trying to make. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Coming back to Shahrukh Khan's type of acting, as a Shahrukh Khan fan, मैं थोड़ा डिफेंड करूंगा उनको. मैं हमेशा ये बात बोलता हूँ जिन लोगों को कभी कभी लगता है कि शाहरुख खान यार ओवर एक्टिंग करता है ये वो सब. तो मैं बोलूंगा कि ही कैन डू अ स्वदेश. ही हैज प्रूवन दैट.
yeah.
एंड ऐसा
Gun,
नहीं है कि या
gun,
टू. हाँ.
Bazigar.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
he has already shown that he can do this restrained performance if he wants to, if
Yeah.
it is a need. ठीक है.
Yep.
अभी रिसेंटली मैं किससे बात कर रहा था देवदास मूवी के बारे में. देवदास में
Oh.
देयर इज ओल्ड देवदास which दिलीप कुमार has performed and there is a
Mhm.
new देवदास जो शाहरुख खान ने किया. अगर आप ओल्ड देवदास का जो टेक है देखेंगे, जिस तरीके से कैमरा वर्क है, जिस तरीके का बैकग्राउंड स्कोर है, दिलीप कुमार इज वेरी सबड्यूड एंड सटल.
Mhm.
एग्जैक्टली ऑपोजिट शाहरुख खान का देवदास अगर आप देखेंगे, if you look at the camera work, the production value, the background score, if Shahrukh Khan had performed in a subtle manner, he would have looked completely out of place.
Yeah.
वो
Agreed.
over dramatic होना जरूरी था because that's the theme of the movie or that's the way the movie is set. Similarly, Swades में if he had overdone ना, it wouldn't have gone with the movie.
That's true. That's a fair point.
So तो
Fair point.
मूवी के हिसाब से ही इज एबल टू इवेल्युएट कि इस मूवी में किस तरह का एक्टिंग करना है. व्हाट इज द डायरेक्टर्स विजन? डस ही वांट मी टू go all out over? Because there is a such section of audience, and I would say majority, that connects to that kind of acting. They
Yeah.
when they look at the actor overdoing it, that's when it hits them. ये अंडर परफॉर्मेंस दैट मेजोरिटी सेक्शन को शायद एलिनेट कर लेता है. And that's why he has to balance it out, being a
Fair enough.
superstar and coming from that. So
Yeah.
that's my
Fair. That's fair. No,
slight
that's fair. That's a
justification.
fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, the Shahrukh Khan fan in me came out. But okay,
Yeah.
let's go back to the movie.
Yeah.
So you've
Yeah.
spoken about this scene. Can you talk about a few more scenes जो आपकी favorite है? When you watch it, you're like, wow, क्या scene है ये?
Though there is one, well, there are lots, right? But if I
Hmm.
can think through some of the scenes come to mind, one of the other scenes that come to mind is the he's it's again he's come back. So India में उसने he has got power now, right? He has come back to finish the work he had to finish in NASA. So
Yeah.
he's sitting at his desk, right?
Hmm.
Just
Hmm.
working with his friend. I forgot his name now, but the friend that he had in NASA. उसके साथ बैठ के काम कर रहा है, and then suddenly
Hmm.
all the pictures and memories start to jog in his head,
Wow.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Just mid thought, mid conversation, वो काम कर रहा है, but these thoughts are just coming in random pictures in his head.
Right. Right.
I thought that scene was really good for a couple of things. One, because एक तो दिखा रहा है कि पैसा है, काम है नासा में, लेकिन दिल भी इंडिया में आ चुका है भी, right? That was also another big shift. जहाँ पहले he was all about Kaveri Amma के लिए मुझे leg massage देना है because he thinks that's comfortable, right?
Right. Right.
When in
Right.
fact, right, comfort doesn't come from that. Comfort comes from all the other things that he experienced while he was in India.
Absolutely.
I felt like that was another awesome scene. Just how it comes flashes of just pictures every now and then. That's when the song also comes. So
Yeah.
तो वो एक अच्छा मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा scene. There was another one with oh man, I forgot the guy, the post office guy. उसका नाम भूल गया मैं.
Oh yeah, मैं भी भूल गया नाम. But विवेक
um,
क्या था उसका? ऐसी कुछ विवेक कुछ नाम था. बहुत सिंपल नाम है उनका.
विश्राम जी.
अच्छा, कैरेक्टर नाम. ओके.
Sorry,
Yeah.
character Vishram ji.
हाँ.
So anyways, so he goes with him and Melaram to go to each of the families to go talk to them, right, about getting the kids
Yeah.
enrolled in school. But then he goes to this one family where they are very poor, right? I think they may have been like a Dalit caste. They're not allowed to send their kids. And the girl that he wants to come to school, the parents say, I can't send because she has to get married.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you can immediately see uske face mein there's a response that gets registered in his face. The expressions are again brilliant because he was like, here's a girl I'm talking about and boy that need to go attend school. And
Hmm.
while the parents are saying, I can't send her, maybe I can send him, but even then I'll get pushback. But yeah, I can't
Right.
even send her because she needs to get married now. And she's like barely 8,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
all these different scenes, right? They all kind of become cumulative.
Right. Right.
These are the things that are fundamentally affecting India. And here I am trying to buy a leg massager for my Kaveri Amma, right? So वो सब
Exactly.
सारा खतरनाक scenes like them. All these things, little nuggets that make this movie unbelievable.
Absolutely. One scene that I would like to talk about, apart from all these scenes, even they are my favorite, but the scene where he's in the, I don't remember the exact place, but I think some festival हो रहा है, वो धोती वोती बांध के आ जाता है. याद है
Oh
वो
yeah.
she helps
Oh, I
him.
remember that scene. I
Yeah,
remember that
and
scene.
then he says मेरे हिसाब से इंडिया सबसे अच्छा देश नहीं है. Everyone is
Yeah.
shocked. How can you say that? But the way he takes that scene,
Explains it.
patriotism is not jingoism, ना कि नहीं मेरा देश सबसे अच्छा है. Patriotism about doing something जिससे आपका देश वहां पहुंच पाए.
Mm-hmm.
कि हम ऐसी चीजें करें जिससे हम ऊपर लेके जाएं. हम एरोगेंस के साथ नहीं जी सकते कि हमारे देश में सब कुछ है. हमें वो थोड़ा रियलिटी चेक भी होना चाहिए. एंड अगर बहुत अच्छा भी है तो और सुधार सकते हैं. राइट. सो दैट्स हिज मेंटालिटी एंड दैट्स हिज पेट्रियोटिज्म कि नहीं ये नहीं है. एंड द वे ही पुट्स हिज पॉइंट्स, शाहरुख परफॉर्मेंस, द पॉइंट्स दैट ही पुट्स, देयर रिएक्शंस टू इट, दे स्टार्ट कंपेयरिंग कल्चर. एंड वो बोलता है कि ये क्या हर बात में तुम कल्चर लेकर आ जाते हो, सबका अपना अपना कल्चर है. राइट. यू
That's a
कांट कीप
key.
सेइंग.
Yeah.
या एग्जैक्टली. सो वो पूरा सीन जिस तरीके से डायलॉग्स लिखे गए थे, एंड हर हर aspect of that scene was wonderful. So that one scene stands out for me. Also the scene where he starts a turbine, वो इट वाज अ लिटिल एक्साइटिंग सीन. पिक्चर थोड़ा ऐसा था ना कि वेरी सटल पिक्चर था, तो उसमें एक एनर्जी आती है कि जिस तरीके से वो लोग एनर्जी वो टर्बाइन
Uh,
लाते हैं, एंड देन दैट फाइनल थिंग जब
yep.
बल्ब जलता है. यू नो
Oh, the ultimate.
यस.
Brilliant. And
बहुत.
to your point, in that scene, another subtle thing I noticed was while they get in the turbine started and going, it's still broad daylight. But when they
Right.
transition to the light bulb coming, it's dark, where the light bulb actually stands out. See, if they had
Exactly.
made that scene where the light bulb goes on in the middle of the day, itna impact nahi hai,
Ah,
right?
exactly, exactly.
But to see that among this cloud of darkness, now this light bulb glows, it's also
Exactly.
there's a symbology behind it, right? Symbolism
Absolutely.
around
Exactly.
the fact that I have lit something up that will hopefully it's a little spark that will continue innovation.
And that spark is, technically speaking, yes, he's made that spark is also there inside him now. That has put a
That's right.
spark inside him, because that's going to eventually result him coming back to India and working towards making India better.
Fair
So
enough.
that's another symbolism in that particular scene. And
Fair enough.
similarly, जब वो उस गांव में जाते हैं जहाँ पे उनको पैसे लेकर आने हैं, कावेरी
Oh,
अम्मा,
yeah.
कावेरी अम्मा काइंड ऑफ मैनिपुलेट्स हिम, राइट. तुम जाओ वहां जाके पैसे लेकर आओ, बहुत पैसे दिया नहीं है. वो पूरा सीन एंड द वे दैट गाय एक्टेड, आई डोंट नो हिज नेम, बट वो गरीब सा जो फार्मर रहता है, जो पूरा अपना स्टोरी बताता है, खाना वाना
Yep.
खिलाते हैं. The way that guy is just saying his dialogues, and Shahrukh Khan यहाँ पे खाना, he's supposed to eat the food, but he is kind of choking, and then it's the entire scene का एक series है, right. उसके बाद बाहर जाता है, लेटा है, ऊपर देख रहा है, and
Yep.
he's feeling it, and then this thing hits, ये पानी वाला scene, and boat में जा रहा है, all these things come together, and they hitting one after the other. And so yes, that the impact of that scene was also outstanding, right. And yes, the movie, they try to package the movie in a very entertaining way also. There are a lot of those funny banter
Mhm.
between Gayatri Joshi's character and Shahrukh's character, and these Melaram and I forgot the name again, uh,
Vishramji.
विश्राम जी. इन लोग का भी जो दे आर नॉट वेरी सीरियस पीपल ऑल्सो, थोड़ा फनी भी है उन लोग. दे ऐड टू दैट फन एलिमेंट इन द फिल्म. वो आ जाता है अपना वैन के अंदर, इसमें कारवान के अंदर, एंड पूछता है अलग अलग क्वेश्चन. बोलता है मुझे हाईवे पे फूड स्टॉल रखना है, आप मुझे लेके जाओ, ये वो सब. आई हैव एन आइडिया. सो इट्स अ वेरी होलसम फिल्म,
Mhm.
एंटरटेनर भी है, कॉमेडी भी है, रोमांस भी है, बट ऑफ कोर्स इट्स टॉकिंग अबाउट very, very serious issue about
Yeah.
empowering the people in our country and making them better. So
I
yes,
mean, if you think about it, it's even in the tagline of the movie, right? So this, we the people.
एग्जैक्टली सो दे वी द पीपल एंड वो पूरा एक गाना है उसी पे बेस्ड राइट
Hmm.
ये तारा वो तारा यू नो सब लोग साथ में मिल जाएंगे तो कितना इम्पैक्ट हम कर सकते हैं एंड इज मेकिंग द चिल्ड्रन रियलाइज दैट उसमें भी जो उन लोग ने जिस तरीके से दिखाया कि एक स्क्रीन है जिसके एक साइड में यू हैव द लो कास्ट पीपल वॉचिंग द मूवी फ्रॉम द बैक साइड and
Hmm.
the upper caste and the remaining people sitting and watching it from the other side, and he takes that screen down and brings them together.
You bring up an excellent point that I also noticed, and I remembered this when the movie came out. Part of the reason why it was not that blockbuster hit, also, right? Even though Lagan was a big hit of
Right,
Ashutosh
right.
Gowarikar, this was not considered a big hit.
Hmm.
मेरे को याद है they were talking, at least, and I could be wrong about this, कि they were saying कि oh, the quality of editing wasn't as good,
Okay,
right,
yeah.
of
हाँ
the
हाँ हाँ.
movie, where they could have done better job of stitching the scenes together better and blah blah blah. मुझे याद है, I think I remember
Hmm.
reading about it. लेकिन
Right.
मुझे याद है कि they're saying that on one hand, but on the other hand,
Hmm.
you see the scene that you just described, where that attention to detail around the fact that you have the upper caste sitting it from looking the movie from the front, and then you have
Hmm.
the lower caste sitting from the back. But then in the scene, you can clearly see the scenes. The reason we know that there was a
Hmm.
symbolic um, descriptor that we could see. Ki
Right.
you're sitting from the back, and the only reason we know they're sitting from the back is because everything looks backwards.
Exactly.
That's an
Yes.
attention
Yes.
to detail. They could have implied, they could have said it in the scene, but they didn't, right? They chose
Yes.
to visually communicate to us that there was that
Absolutely.
separation because we could tell the movie is backwards because you're sitting behind it.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
attention to detail that is not common typically, you know?
Exactly. I completely agree with you. And I also think the reason he kept this movie long, except that I have just one small issue with this entire movie. I'll tell about that, but I'll speak about that. But ये लेंथ इसलिए इम्पोर्टेंट था क्योंकि आपको धीरे धीरे सीप इन करने देते हैं इस
Oh,
मूवी
yeah,
की रियलिटी को
exactly.
अगर ये
Exactly.
क्विक एडिटिंग वाला होता ना तो इट वोंट कनेक्ट विद यू यू नो यहाँ पे आराम से आप धीरे धीरे आप हर कैरेक्टर को समझ रहे हो आप हर कैरेक्टर को लिटरली यू नो यू आर absorbing that character his
That's right.
mentality his emotions
That's right.
or her emotions and Shahrukh Khan का पूरा transformation from the guy who's in US who's just come to bring Kaveri Amma back to US because he feels guilty. He doesn't have any parents left, right? So he also
Mhm.
feels guilty about what the situation is, and he wants to take her back. And वहां पे गायत्री क्या है उसका नाम
Joshi.
जोशी हाँ गायत्री जोशी का अपना रीजंस रहता है शी वांट्स कावेरी अम्मा टू बी विथ हर एंड यू नो वहां से वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट शुरू होता है एंड देन यू नो धीरे धीरे वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन दिखाते हैं एक ही चीज है जो मुझे एज अ सॉन्ग इट माइट बी अ वेरी गुड सॉन्ग बट सावरिया सावरिया राइट दैट्स द सॉन्ग ना
Hmm.
वो गाना होगा अच्छा बट वो गाना
Then,
रॉन्ग टाइमिंग था
yeah,
मुझे लगा
I
कि
agree.
वो गाना अगर नहीं होता वो एक ही पीस है जो मुझे लगता है कि ये निकाल सकते थे ऑल्दो
Hmm.
उसमें देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ montages of Shahrukh Khan's travel towards that village so if they had somehow managed to keep some music and just show his travel and
Hmm.
take that song out
Hmm.
I mean it felt out of character also of her to sing and ये वो थोड़ा अजीब लग रहा था I know it's a
Hmm.
at the end of the day it's में commerce involved है but it wasn't adding to the commerce also I think sometimes now you should go all out कि नहीं यार है yeah.
But if you think about it, though, fair enough.
Hmm.
I agree, by the way, on that one. But if you think about
Hmm.
it, I am
Hmm.
betting there's also pressure to keep the song because he had to cut another song as well, which he ended up did getting cut, which was
uh,
the Soja, that
ahista
love
ahista ahista
Ahista. Okay,
ahista
it's a nice song when you listen to it, the soundtrack.
absolutely
Like
right
in
right
the movie, that scene was deleted completely. The whole song was deleted, right? You can see
deleted
the
yes
recording. I mean, in the you on YouTube, it's there, but I can see that they already cut one song. If you cut another song, right?
yeah
So I can
yeah
see that being some of the pushback he may have received, even if he did what we all thought he should have done. I wanted to go
right
back to another point you brought up, and you have been in, you learned officially movie directing, so you probably know more insights into this.
hmm
But your point about saying the movie needed to be that long for the character development to be shown, right? Here's why it's also he's not he's not alone in doing this, right? So तुम अगर देखोगे अभी नया latest जो last year आया था Oppenheimer from Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan.
Right,
That
right,
movie
right,
is
right.
terribly long, but
Yeah,
it is incredibly amazing movie, and you
absolutely.
need the movie to be that long to go through all the emotions of J. Robert Oppenheimer and how he starts from being college kid to who ends up being, right, this great scientist. But you have to see
Absolutely.
those trials and tribulations. So similarly, to
Exactly.
show the spectrum of SRK's characters, you
Character.
have to have a movie that long. So
Exactly.
people who complain about editing, right?
यस आई कंप्लीटली एग्री विथ यू है ना मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ कि ये एक छोटा सा गाना अगर निकाल देते वट एवर द रीजन में बी अब वो 100% परफेक्ट हो जाती है इट इज 99.99% परफेक्ट दो 0.1 या 0.1% ऊपर नीचे है बट दैट्स दैट्स टेकिंग पुटिंग टू मच ऑफ क्रिटिसिज्म और बीइंग ओवर क्रिटिकल राइट
Yeah,
some movies are about commerce so I think over the years ना शाहरुख खान का ये फिल्मोग्राफी में इस फिल्म का होना has changed his filmography in a very different way, right? I mean, suddenly
yeah,
you have Shahrukh Khan doing such a film, and many people keep asking, "यार मुझे एक और film ऐसा दे दो," and all. And I hope he makes one more such a film. When I say such a film, where you see Shahrukh Khan literally being a very very realistic character, going through the
hmm
regular day by day emotions, and in a film which is going to hit you in your heart, right? तो ऐसा मैं चाहूंगा देखना very soon. Now we'll come to the most important part of the movie, Shahrukh Khan direction. But I know you're a big fan of A.R. Rahman. So you want to talk about the music and the background score of the movie?
I mean, yeah, I don't think we have enough time, right, to talk about that.
Yeah,
Lekin,
but
yeah, you're right. I mean, basically, yes, I'm a big fan. Um, but also, if you see the type of songs, right, starting from, and this was another subtle thing I noticed in the beginning. Um,
यूं ही चला.
Yu Hi Chala Chal. So you can see the way we can listen to it when he's playing that song from the tape recorder in the car. It sounds
Uh-huh.
different, right? It
Right,
sounds
right,
almost
right.
like it's running in mono mode. And
Yeah,
then as he transitions from that song to now he's singing it, you can see
right,
even through, from a listening perspective, it changes from mono to stereo. There
right,
was a very
right, right, right.
subtle thing he was playing with, and we experienced it, which I thought was
Yes,
brilliant, right?
absolutely.
And then there was that portion, just the songs itself, they're all amazing. And then there is the portion also, like you said, Ye Tara Wo Tara, just beautiful music, right? So even though the
Absolutely.
message is deep, the music, if
Hmm.
we just listen to the music, it's very much like what kids would like to listen to, right? It's got that
Absolutely.
aspect to it, which I
Right.
think basically is speaking to the genius of A.R. Rahman, but also the fact that this is not him just writing songs that he thinks are beautiful. This is about
Hmm.
him writing songs that also are in concert with what Ashutosh Gowarikar wants from that song.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then same when you think about Ye Jo Des. Actually,
Oh,
before the song also there was that song Pal Pal Hai Bhari,
oh yeah.
right?
Ram
So
Bhagwan के बारे में.
here's Ram Bhagwan ke baare mein, which is
हाँ,
also written by Javed Akhtar,
exactly.
right? And then
Right.
but in that song also the way the music changes based on the message that is being conveyed, where she's singing and talking about the praise of Ram, but then he is
Mhm.
talking, when he starts singing his part, it's a different message where it's more about, if you think about it, even Ravan wasn't wrong,
Exactly.
right? It's
Right,
about
right.
what you have inside of you that
Yeah,
matters. The music changes based on the message being conveyed. Brilliant.
brilliant.
And then Ye Jo Des Mein To, I mean, that whole song is incredible, right? Best song of that whole track,
Album. Yeah.
soundtrack. Lekin, or the album, but um, the parts where towards the end there's the whole, tabla section.
Ah,
Abhi, that's the one where I think, so my wife Shruti, that's her favorite portion as well, because
okay.
that is the one where it's just beautiful. It just flows with the way the song should end, right?
Exactly.
And he's got a
Exactly.
similar pattern, by the way, of that in another song from Rang De Basanti.
Hmm.
I forgot which song it was in Rang De Basanti. Oh, it's the one with Lata Mangeshkar, where A.R. Rahman sings.
ओ
Um,
बेटा वाला ना
um,
लुक्का छुपी बहुत हुई.
Luka Chupi. Even if
Hmm.
you notice in that song towards the end, he tapers with this version of tabla, which then ends with a crescendo of those two doing Jugalbandi. But
Exactly.
fantastic song. And then the key thing among all this, right, while the songs are amazing, it's the
Mhm.
fact that throughout those key scenes that we've been already talking about,
Right.
what makes the scene go to a whole other level and elevates it is the background score. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's a reason we moved from silent movies to movies with sound. And
Exactly.
there are some times when sound is just there because it's there, but then there are some times when sound is there to carry the story further, to carry the scene further. And to me,
Absolutely.
these background scores are just point perfect. If you go back and watch, well, go forward in the future and watch this movie again, 50 years later, you will still say this was perfect. You could not have done
Exactly.
better.
Exactly.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I know the value of background score throughout this movie. Every single scene, whether it is those thrilling scenes where he's doing that uh, क्या लाइट जनरेट कर रहा है या फिर
Mm-hmm.
वो सीन्स जहाँ पे देयर इज दिस वाटर वाला सीन या
Mm-hmm.
गांव में जा रहा है वो सीन्स the way he's used music and sound, I completely agree with you, and it elevates the movie and takes it to the next level. You know, and it's a combination of great uh, music, great lyrics, great performance, and obviously the great direction from Ashutosh Gowarikar. Everything, all the departments they gave their best and they came up with a movie that will be remembered forever, as you mentioned. Right. So I completely agree. I am also an A.R. Rahman fan, not probably as much as you, and I believe the value that he's added to a lot of the movies that he's done is really amazing. And to this movie specifically, outstanding. Even that song, Dekho Na, that's such a
Mm-hmm.
melodious song. It's such a beautiful, वो जो रात का setting है, धीरे धीरे they are getting connected with each other. And that transitions to that turbine wala music. If you see, the transition that happens from that soft melody to that turbine, mein, they are working together because I think it's a follow-up, right? वो
Yeah,
इस
it
बीच
is.
में ही
It
हो रहा है.
is. It
Yeah.
is.
So absolute wonderful transition. So uh, yeah, goosebumps when I'm talking about it also. Right. Okay, so
Genius.
absolutely.
I would also say that I think one of the things that don't ever get talked about in this movie is well, a couple of things. One is the choice of actors they made for the right roles.
Right,
Right, it
right,
was
right.
brilliant.
Absolutely.
You didn't need mainstream actors. You needed
Exactly.
actors who knew how to convey that role best, and I think they did that
Absolutely.
fantastically well. And then the other thing was the understated role of Kaveri Amma. To your point,
Oh,
she was
yes.
manipulating, but to me, I also see it as, see, manipulating has a negative connotation to it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But right, and I know
I
you
didn't
didn't
mean
mean it that
it.
way.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know exactly. I know you didn't
yeah.
mean it that way, but that's
Right.
kind of what she was being kind of doing. But I see her as the master orchestrator, right? She knew,
Exactly.
here's this boy that I raised.
Hmm.
अभी वो अमेरिका गया है, settled है, happy है, but he keeps wanting me to come. He needs to be told. Oh, that reminds me of another scene, by the way. The scene where
Uh,
for the other lady in the village who, when they are drying the chilies, and she tells him,
yeah,
बर्फ का
मुकद्दर है कि वो
कि
अपने
मुकद्दर
ही.
ही has to melt in its own water, exactly,
Right, right,
right?
right,
And
right.
so that's the light bulb for her to become the
Brilliant
orchestra.
dialogue. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
brilliant. So Kaveri Amma to me was the understated role of the movie, where she was the one putting all these things in motion, basically.
So we have another cameo by my brother Rahul Raman. Now he's used to giving cameos to my videos, podcasts. So thank you, Rahul. Before we wrap up, I thought I should bring you in as well. So we are talking about the movie Swades, you know that, and Ajay loves this movie. That's the reason ये podcast मैंने अजय के साथ किया. Do you have anything to say about this movie? Anything, any kind of impact it had on you as while you
It
were
had a
growing up?
very huge impact on me, actually.
Oh.
I remember, remind me, when did this movie release?
2004,
Uh,
December.
so 2004. Um, so that was also the year that we had gone to US, and we had relocated, right? Sort of like, at least that was the plan. 2004 we will relocate. Got the green card and everything, and um, we came back fortunately, and changed our plans. So I remember watching the movie and coming home, and I was so emotionally charged that I got the green card, and I told my mom, I'm going to break it. I don't want to go to US. I want to
Wow.
stay in India, and I want to just live in India. So I remember that. I don't know if mom remembers, but
Mhm.
that is the kind of impact it had. And I remember the feeling, like, I was feeling really emotionally charged, that why am I going to the US? Why can't I make a life in India like, Shahrukh Khan in the movie did? So, and the songs, uh, I have so many memories with Ajay of Lagan and Swades songs, that when we would go on long drives, we would sing. And I remember once we both were, on a drive, and we were singing Ye Jo Desh Hai Tera, and it brought
Wow.
tears to our eyes while we were
Oh,
driving. I
wow.
think, the the songs were, I think the songs were equally the star of the movie as was the story, and of course Shah Rukh Khan. So um, I don't think there is. I've seen a patriotic movie, or a movie that evokes patriotism better than Swades, especially for people who are living abroad, right? So um, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with both of you on this. I never had this dilemma because I've always been living in India. I never had to go through that. Having said that, I'm glad that both of you eventually relocated to US and are doing very well for yourself and for the family, especially you, Rahul, because I was able to take this break from my work. It's no longer a break now, I think. It's more than a break. But I was able to do that because you were supporting our family and also me. Right, Afreen was supporting me, you are also supporting me, but more importantly, you are supporting our family, our parents, and so that aside, I'm glad that you went to US because of that. But I'm also glad that a movie was able to do that, right? If a movie is able to inspire you in any way, even if it's temporary, I think it has done its job. So, and yeah, so wonderful, Rahul. Now, going back to our main guest, Ajay, any finishing words before we wrap up this podcast?
No, I was just going to say thank you so much for having me to talk about one of those two movies that I really like of Shahrukh Khan. I should say there's a third one, Pardes, also, by the way.
Oh, wow. So, Dev
Uh,
Pardes.
yeah, exactly. But no, thank you so much for doing this. I really enjoyed, chatting with you about this movie and sharing our passion for this awesome movie. And then always great seeing our favorite brother Rahul on this as well. So thank you for that surprise cameo. And this is
Absolutely.
fantastic. I hope you get lots of views and this becomes a big thing for you as well, apart from your amazing movie career as well. So
Yes, I mean, I'm glad that I'm doing this because I'm able to record what I feel about certain things, certain movies, certain other things also, like cricket and sometimes politics. Not much into politics though. I mean, I'm not doing podcasts related to politics though, but still, whatever my opinion about a lot of things are, I'm glad I'm able to voice it and record it so that in the future I can just look back and listen to them and be like, wow, yeah, I said these things, you said these things, it's here for eternity. So I think on that note, we can finally wrap up this podcast. I love this doing it with you, Ajay and Rahul. Thanks for coming in the end and adding to this. But I really love doing it. It gives me different perspectives from people who are not necessarily Shahrukh fans as such, right? फैंस तो तारीफ करने ही वाले हैं हर तरफ से बट नॉन फैंस से ये सुनना बहुत अच्छा लगता है एंड आई एम ग्लैड यू डिड दैट so thank you again, both of you. Let's talk to each other very soon. Maybe another DDLJ podcast with you, Ajay, or Pardes. Maybe you never know. Yeah.
sounds good,
Okay.
Karthik.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Rahul.
Mhm. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Karthik.